award-winning Tennessee Wildcast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Wildcast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got a great show lined up for you today, and I'm excited to talk all about fisheries today.
All right. Yes. Yeah, we have Mark Thurman in the house.
We do. In our house.
Yes.
We're normally with him and the regional offices.
I know. He was
Region
impressed
3.
with Studio B, when he walked in. He said, hey, this is where it happens, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Yeah, I moved.
He's moving on up.
That's right.
What's that song?
Come to the big city.
The big house here. He's now the Chief of Fisheries for the TWRA. We're glad to have him at the national office and excited to have him on today's show.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. I know folks who follow this show have seen you on here a couple times talking about different things. I think muskie the last time we were in Region 3 talking muskie, but today we got him in the big house.
Yeah, that's right.
I love to talk about fishing.
Yeah, that's your passion. Well, Don's going to touch on a radio station.
Yeah.
First.
We're going to do a little shout out to the folks in Jackson this morning. If you're listening in Jackson at 6 a.m., it's WTJS 93.1, the talk of Jackson. We appreciate them being our radio partner in that area, and we appreciate all our radio partners, but especially that one today.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate all those guys who get the show out there. If you're not listening on the radio, you can find us on a podcasting app of your choice. I Googled it the other day. We're on all kinds of different platforms. They just pick up the feed, so you can find us out there on your favorite platform. And if you like to watch the show, you can find that on YouTube. So
and a few TV stations around as well.
Yep, a few stations for that as well. So let's jump right in. Mark Thurman, Chief of Fisheries. So what's life like here in the big city?
I'm enjoying it. I'm getting adjusted, but having a good time.
Good deal.
Enjoying the new job and getting to know everybody here in the Nashville office.
Getting to know. He already knew us. There's a few new faces, I'm sure, though, for you.
Yeah, I'm excited about the job, though. It's neat.
Yeah. So
well-deserved, too.
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Very well-deserved. I've known and been around Mark for a lot of years, going back clear to the beginning of the Wild Side days, back in the early days of Tennessee's Wild Side. And Mark was one of the first to get out there and show the crews around, and I always appreciated him doing that.
We had so much fun with that. That was good.
Yeah.
Taught me the value of doing things like this, being able to talk about the work we do.
Communications, getting the word out there, showing people how fun Tennessee can be.
Oh, yeah.
So you've not always been in fisheries. I know we touched on this in the last show, I believe it was, but you didn't start in fisheries, did you?
Well, okay. I started in fisheries.
Okay.
1986. I started in fisheries. Spent a long time, probably almost 18 years doing that.
Okay.
Moved over into biodiversity for a while.
That's the jump I was
Did a lot of survey work, worked on conservation plans, and then came back to fisheries as program manager over in Region 3 out of the Crossville office.
Gotcha. Yeah. Awesome. So fishing has always been your passion. That's been your focus. So
I really enjoy working in fisheries, managing fishing for the public. I've just always enjoyed it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, today we're going to touch on a lot of different things.
Well, speaking of fishing, we need to go here. Just a real quick story. Mark, he's passionate about the fish biology and all things related to fishing, but especially fishing itself. And I can vouch for the fact that he is an expert angler. He picked out the exact right bait to retrieve my personal drone that I had flown at Catoosa and gotten hung in monofilament on the side of a creek bed a while back. And he came along at just the right time. We recruited him, and Travis Scott, I think just by happen chance, happened to stop by, and the two of these guys rescued my drone out of the tree.
I mean, I hit, I had to select the right lure.
Exactly.
I had a lot to think about in that selection, but But the catch that Travis made.
Oh, I know.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a team effort.
Yeah.
It was a team effort.
So did the Zebco 33 come into play at all, or
No, it was a big topwater bait with enough hooks to make sure that I was going to make contact with the drone.
so you went with baitcaster or something? You did really whack it.
it was a spinning.
Yeah, it was
spinning
a-
reel.
no,
spinning reel, okay.
I needed that. I have more confidence with casting with the spinning reel, spinning rod. So
all right.
that's what got the job done.
But anyway, it was great. I love to take the drone out just to get scenic shots, and it's just some beauty shots. And I was just, enjoying that, doing that day. And man, that monofilament, it got me a couple of times this year.
I think I remember another time.
Yeah, we won't go to that one. Yeah, we won't go to that one.
Well,
hey,
if you ever get in a bind again,
I know who
if
to
I'm
call.
anywhere in the area, I'll fish for anything.
All right, good deal, Mark. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
here's a good chance for a public service announcement. Pick up your line when you're fishing. If you get tangled up and your line breaks, don't throw it out there. Pick it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stuff it in your pocket.
Yeah.
A lot of places now have receptacles for fishing line. If it's
Yeah,
fishing
I've seen
gear.
those a lot of those around.
And put it in your pocket. Get it out when you get home.
Take it out. Yeah. Yeah. There's also a program called Fill a Bag While You Fill Your Tag.
Oh, yeah.
right.
So
I like
while
that.
you're out fishing or hunting, take a little bag with you, bring the trash home and throw it away. All right. Well, today we're going to cover the new fishing guide. I don't know if anybody's seen it yet. Here it is, holding it up.
New size.
New size. It's tackle box worthy here.
Yeah, I think they call that digest size or something to that effect.
But it'll fit right in your tackle box. I love the size of it this year. If you got one in the mail, you're going to see there's no ads in there. There's a lot of just direct information, what you need to get out there and enjoy Tennessee fishing.
Yeah.
So if you're a lifetime license holder or a sportsman's license holder, you received one in the mail. And it's a great addition this year, I believe. So we were talking about this earlier. What page, Mark, is the free fishing day on?
Oh gosh, we knew we talked about trivia, and I got started on something else. I got totally distracted. It's
I
on
know the
June
date.
10th.
I'm
It's
about
on
to hit
June
the button.
10th.
I'm going to hit the button.
We're going for it. What page?
Page 11.
Oh,
So yeah, that was one of the things we were talking about earlier. June 11th or June 10th is free fishing day. June 10th on page 11 in the guide.
there you go.
Yeah. So check that out. That's always a fun time for folks every year to get out there on free
Yeah.
fishing day. But make sure you know where that is. And there's a lot of new things towards the front of the guide that we're going to touch on today as well. But also want to make sure folks remember the 365 license.
It's always a good reminder this time of year because, February 28th used to be the day that all of them expired. It doesn't happen anymore. If you bought it in March, you got till March the next year to keep using it. So
Yep.
So it's a good thing.
And then the hard card this year, the new hard cards features some fish art. If you see that on the front of the guide, so all kinds of fun things fishing as we get closer to that season. I mean, it's always fishing season, but as it warms up, people are itching to get out and
Oh yeah.
and fish and spring turkey. So this is the kind of the time of the year for all this. But
Sure enough.
well, let's jump right in, Mark. Unless you got something else you want to say, I think we could jump into well, we've hit the free fishing day, but we didn't specify what free fishing day is now.
Oh,
Bobby Wilson, free
Bobby
fishing
Wilson,
day.
Free fishing day. Yes, and named in honor of Bobby, who he was so supportive of free fishing day and kids fishing events, and I think that's a wonderful way to recognize his contribution to fishing in Tennessee.
I can remember early on in my career, him and I went down to the creek here when he was chief of fisheries, and we shot a little video, promoting free fishing day, and Todd was shooting video, and that was fun. We caught little fish down here on the creek and promoted the day, so that was fun. But yeah, he's always been a big supporter of that day, and I'm sure it was a great honor to have it named after him.
Yeah, that's neat. Well deserved, and then he ended up as our executive director right before he retired. So
Yep. TNWildlife.org. You can find the fishing guide at TNWildlife.org. if you didn't pick one up at a store or get one in the mail. All the information for the guide is there. The button on the homepage, easy to find. But Mark, you wanted to specify and talk a little bit about some of the other things that you can find at tnwildlife.org. I know I'm maybe getting ahead of myself here. We'll get back to the guide, but that was next on my list.
No, let's cover that.
Some of the stuff you can find on our website.
Yeah, we've put a lot of work in working with the communications division and to make sure that we've got good information for people when they go to the website. And so we've got things like storyboards about trout fisheries across the state that have got, kind of conditions of what's going on those sites, and maps and ways to get that, how to get there, information about those places. We've got virtual tours of some places like Tellico River and Citico Creek.
Yeah.
We've got on the website, you've got your maps with fishing locations across the state on lakes.
Fish attractors.
Fish attractors in there. So if you're looking for a place to fish and wondering where our habitat sites are, you can find them and get to the fish.
Yeah, those are being updated all the time too. Just recently, I've seen photos of folks taking, helping us get fish attractors out there. So it takes a little while to get those on the map, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's new fish attractors going out all the time, new spots to fish. And
Oh yeah, the crews are working really now all year on habitat work across the state, and they keep the sites that they've had, maintained. They're putting new sites out and just put a lot of emphasis on the habitat work, and it puts people with fish, and it also provides good habitat.
well, and while we're on it, let's touch on it. I'll put you on the spot here just a little bit. There's different types of habitat going on out there.
Sure.
I know even like in Region 4, they do a lot of those reef balls or the concrete structures where lately we've seen some looks like PVC pipe type structures going out. And then there was some others that we partnered with another group, and I'll remember the name later maybe, but of their type of structure that's more of these tree-looking, spiky-looking things that go out.
Sure. There's a wide variety of types of habitat that the crews across the state work on. The reef balls and the work up there is like perfectly suited for those tributary lakes that have such big drawdowns. They've also been shared with some other sites across the state. The pipe structures, like you mentioned, they're working on some cube structures. We've got people that go they've gone to some seminars, some habitat seminars, and looked at what other states are doing and brought home some ideas and working on some things like cubes. Stake beds are like a long-running thing out in, I know in West Tennessee and Middle Tennessee especially, they've built a lot of stake beds. What else? At state parks and some of our community lakes and municipality lakes, we've used products from mossback, fish tree.
That's it, mossback is what I was trying to think of earlier.
Structures. So it's just a variety of things, and a lot of it has to do with the site that you're dealing with. And I'm really proud of the work that's going on out there with habitat work.
Yeah, and it's all environmental safe products. We're using the good quality materials for this kind of thing, and they'll last a little while. The Christmas trees don't only last so long, right? That was a big thing. People drop Christmas trees and recycle Christmas trees, create structure that way, but those drift away and rot away pretty quick.
Yeah, they don't last very long, especially if the water gets pulled off of them. The air gets to them, they break down. The fish attractor program started, I think, as far back as the 70s with a kind of a TVA, TWRA partnership. And when I started in the 80s, we would try to find some places that we could get trees, and it was hard to do. And now, seeing the work that they're doing now, they don't have that limitation, so they can get the materials together. They can build them at their shop. They can host. They host high school fishing teams to come do builds. They bring the fishing teams in and other partners to come put the structures out. It's just really neat to see how that work has changed over the years and grown to the point that it has.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into the Bill Dance Signature Lakes. That's a lot of what we see on the What's New section of the fishing guide. So that's like page 2. I mean, you flip it over, you got the TWRA offices, and then the next page you have What's New for for the year. And the big thing that we see here is a lot of new regulations, additional regulations, changes to certain lakes that are part of Bill Dant's signature lake system that we'll touch on here today. So the first one was that we wanted to touch on was Lake Halford, right?
Lake Halford, yes.
That's a new lake. Maybe you could touch on a little bit about it. What kind of stuff's going to be going on there to improve that fishery?
Well, Lake Halford is now a TWRA lake under our management. We're excited about having the lake back in our system. It's a neat place. You should get out there and go see it. It'd be a great destination place to go fishing. It's part of the Bill Dance Signature Lakes program, and been doing habitat work out there. We're doing some access improvement, kind of getting up to speed with the management because it's a little different than a lot of the other places that we manage. It's got a marina. It's got residences around it. So there's a process for us going forward. We got some basic things in place to allow us to manage the site, but it's going to be an evolving process there to fully realize, how it'll be managed on out in the future.
Yeah, how it can come together. Has it always been a fishery? Is it a good fishery, or is it something we're changing that?
No, it's been a good lake. It's been known for good bass fishing. Some of the work that we're doing is really adding to that.
Okay.
Trying to enhance bluegill, catfish fishing there.
Gotcha.
Like I said, with the habitat work, there's been some forage stocking done there, and I think we'll see some positive movement in that direction with those fisheries.
And is there recreation on that lake as well?
Yes, there's boating
and all that fun stuff.
And I'm not an expert on Halford, but it's like I said, it's a different kind of place for us to manage. But the crew out there is doing a great job. We've got a great staff out there, and they are they're working on it out there. So we've got a great staff out there.
That's great. Yeah, we don't probably mention it enough, but like our technicians and all the guys who are on that level down there, working their butts off.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Give a shout out to them across the whole state. I mean, it's not your chiefs and your assistant chiefs and your managers. You got these guys that everybody's putting in hard work,
putting it on the ground.
Yeah, make things happen
in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got crews across the state that are managing fishing out there. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, and I've always said this too. I mean, they jack of all trades. They can do just about anything. It's amazing some of the guys and gals we have working for us.
Yep.
Well, we picked out 3 here on the what's new. What's the next one?
Let's talk about Fall Creek Falls over at Fall Creek Falls State Park. Doing some, we're really looking at Fall Creek Falls as a good family destination. So working on the bluegill fishing, working on the catfish fishing, the bass fishery, we're doing some management. You can look on there, 10 fish per day limit, but only 1 over 16 to try to build up some stocks of larger fish. We think it has potential to do that. We've done, just like Halford, we've done habitat work, a lot of habitat work over there. We've got feeders out there, which is kind of a new thing to try to manage condition of fish, and seeing some really early on some results from that.
Okay.
And Fall Creek Falls, I think it's the most visited state park.
It's a beautiful state park.
We'll get a lot of people there. It already had a lot of fishing. A lot of people go there to fish, and we just hope to build on that and have a great fishing site. We also have a trout stocking program there. So in the fall and spring, they're at the creek in the park, and there's just a lot of fishing opportunity there.
If you've never been there, there are some cabins that face the water that I think you can
those are
fish
so neat,
right off the back porch.
The fishermen's cabins. Yes. And we put a lot of habitat out there in that area for people to fish off those. They're not docks. They're the porches.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Just kind of look out over
it's
the
built
lake.
right onto the cabin. Yeah,
I guess I missed those. I mean, we were out there not too long ago for some meetings and things, and the new lodge is really nice.
Oh yeah,
that's a great park to visit. Shout out to the state parks and the work that they're doing to improve some of their facilities. New lodges here and there, and That lake is much larger than I remembered it. It's been a while since I'd been there, but it's a great place.
Yeah, me
Very
too.
Good. Very good fishery, and I'll have to check out those cabins with the fishing docks.
It's nice. Yeah. It's a neat place.
That's cool. All right. Well, the next one, you mentioned Herb Parsons. That's one of the other ones that we've circled up into the Bill Dance signature lakes and got some new regulations for 2023.
Yeah, we've got a 16 to 20 inch protected length range on largemouth bass with only one fish over 20. It has a lot of potential to grow some bigger fish. Those protected length ranges, you can't harvest fish within that slot. A lot of people call them slot limits.
Yeah, slot limits.
And then again, the habitat and the access and forage stocking. We're doing some forage stocking there and looking at enhancing bluegill catfish there as well. All these sites stand to be really good fishing sites.
Awesome. Explain forage stocking.
Good one. So forage is what fish eat.
Okay.
Either something like a threadfin shad or golden shiners, something small, something that fish can utilize. In a lot of those lakes, you look at your bluegill population as your main forage, and so just as a supplemental forage item, we'll sometimes stock threadfin, golden shiners, and that's what we've done at a lot of these sites.
Okay, awesome. So, and that's supplemental to some of the feeding, some of the
supplemental to what's there already.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about, a bass, bluegill, catfish, small lake management strategy just in general, you're using those bluegill as a forage item and a fish you want to catch.
Okay.
So it's supplemental to those fish that are there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure people may have questions about that, so that's good.
Yeah.
We throw out terms a lot of times, and
we do. It just
rolls off the tongue, and we think everybody knows.
Thanks for spending some time on that.
No, yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. And I know from experience and from recent things that we've done, the Fall Creek Falls and Lake Halford, they all have new structures and new things going in. I'm sure Herb Parsons had some of those too, but it's cool to see all these new structures going in and new habitat being built. And
I guess that's kind of the 30,000-foot view of the new effort with the Bill Dance signature lakes, isn't it?
Sure.
That things are just going to get improved, access and just convenience and family friendly and all those things.
Well, and there are really two components to the Bill Dance signature lakes. You've got these small lakes, and then you've got the larger reservoir sites. The small lakes are going to be places where we can do this intensive management, see what we can do with the quality of fishing over time, and and some of them already have great fishing, so it's not hard to do. And then on the larger reservoir sites, a lot of the work is focusing on access, the boat ramps, the docks, facilities like that. The reservoirs are a place in Tennessee that we have been doing, some really great management for a very long time. So a lot of these places already have great fisheries, which is why they were selected and are important, to each part of the state that they occur. But yeah, that's kind of there's two parts to Bill Dance signature lakes, the small lakes and then the big reservoirs.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned how important our reservoirs are and how great they are. And there's a particular fish we don't want to move around, right?
Oh, yeah.
That we want to control movement of invasive species and certain fish into certain areas. So touch on Alabama bass. I know that's been a topic that's come up here lately, that we're starting to see some fish being moved around. And it's not a good thing. And we want to stop that movement.
Yeah, we've seen, Alabama bass, to say that they are native to Tennessee, a very small portion of Tennessee down in the southeast corner of the state, the Conasauga River drainage, which goes down into the Mobile Basin, which is,
Alabama
not
bass.
the Tennessee and not the Cumberland.
Yeah.
And as those fish have been moved outside their range within the state, we've seen some real impact on bass fisheries. We've seen places like Parksville Reservoir where you were kind of building up a pretty good largemouth bass fishery.
Right.
Seen that really shift to where it's all Alabama bass. We've seen those fish move downstream, pretty good at moving downstream, down into the Ocoee River in the Parksville tailwater. We've seen them move to a few places kind of far away from there where they've shown up. And where they show up where you've got smallmouth fisheries, it's a real problem. They hybridize with smallmouth. And there are places like in Georgia, North Carolina, that have seen, smallmouth fisheries really just knocked out.
Wow.
And I guess kind of the problem with it is, you see this, you kind of see some great fishing for a while. You see the hybrids between the smallmouth and the Alabama bass, and you get this kind of a pulse of really good fishing. But the concern is over time, when you lose your smallmouth out of the fishery, what are you going to have?
You've lost your smallmouth. I mean, Tennessee's known for smallmouth fishing. It's the what's the phrase? Smallmouth of Tennessee. That's just what people come here for.
Yes.
And if you have that fish mixing in, you eventually don't have a true
going away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smallmouth.
So the rule to keep in mind: don't move fish.
Don't move fish. Don't move fish. And we've got some great fisheries to protect, and the places that don't have locks and dams where fish can move, like big tributary reservoirs like Dale Hollow, Center Hill. It'd be terrible for those fish to get moved there.
Yeah.
And there are others. Those are just two that come to mind.
Yeah. Well, that's important. Keep that in mind. Don't move fish. You don't want to move these fish. There's other fish in Tennessee we don't want moved. So just don't dump your bait. Don't move fish. All those good things. Tennessee, where smallmouth is king, right? That's what I was trying to...
Smallmouth is king,
Let's keep it that way. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Well, Mark, I appreciate you coming in today and making this happen. Thanks for kind of highlighting a few things that's new this year. Looking forward to getting out and doing some fishing.
Well, and if we got a second, check out the What's New. We got new trot line regulations. There's regulations on other places. Always check out that What's New page, and it'll tell you what's been changed. And check that out before you head out to fish.
Awesome. Congratulations on your new role.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you as we move forward.
All right.
Don, thank you.
You bet. First of many to have Mark in for a Wildcast, I believe.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, this is Tennessee Wildcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee Wildcast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.